Good day. For today's discussion, I will talk about the spiral progression in science, a new feature in the K 12 curriculum. So first, let us know about what do I need to learn or what the students need to learn. At the end of the module, the learners should be able to first describe a spiral progression approach. Second, discuss how concepts and skills and attitudes are sequenced to show integration and a vertical continuity. And third, design a spiral curriculum in science. Introduction. Today, everyone is highly motivated and interested to try the adoption of a spiral curriculum in science and math education. A CEAP-NBEC's Basic Education Summit or the Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines National Basic Education Commission held on February 20, 2012 headlined that K-12 will strengthen the science and math education. It cited the use of special progression in developing a spiral curriculum in science. Accordingly, such an approach will a. avoid disjunction between stages of schooling. Para malikayan nga ang lack of connection between early childhood education, primary education, secondary education, or tertiary education or the stages of schooling, wherein the plan is to make sure that the early stages of education up to the higher stages are still connected and continuous. B. Allow learners to learn topics and skills appropriate to their development or cognitive stages. They also make sure that the topic are appropriate sa learners wherein dapat tugma ang topic ug skills sa developmental stages sa learners. For example, if ang learner is in his or her adolescent stage, dapat ang makatunan sa learners kay bagay og for adolescents na, or we simply put it the complex topic. An individual's developmental stages influences the ability to learn. C. Strengthen retention and mastery of topics and skills as they are revisited and consolidated. The curriculum shall use the spiral progression approach to ensure mastery of knowledge and skills after each level. In its comparison in the learning areas, the proposed K-12 uses a. Integration and content-based instruction in K grade 1 and 2. So, meaning aning integration and content-based instruction is a means of developing the linguistic ability, wherein they learn about the subject using the language they are trying to learn, rather than their native language as a tool for developing knowledge, and so they develop their linguistic ability in the target language. Next, B uses spiral progression approach for grade 3 to 10. So, this spiral progression approach exposes the learners into a wide variety of concepts or topic and disciplines until they mastered it by studying it over and over again, but with different deepening of complexity. Last is for the senior high school, grades 11 to 12. It uses the discipline-based approach. Discipline-based approach is a practice within one subject and encourages teachers for specialization and depth of content knowledge and integrity to the convention of their discipline. At this point, let us know about the spiral curriculum. A spiral curriculum design is one in which key concepts are presented repeatedly throughout the curriculum, but with deepening layers of complexity. Such treatment proposes to make students repeat the study of a subject at different grade levels. So, for us to understand the idea of spiral curriculum design, the concepts or topics are systematically reintroduced at every academic level, thus considering their developmental stages. The process of this curriculum design is through repetition. Like kanaganing ang topic kay i-introduce as a start after ana lain na sad na topic. At the same time, i-review gihapon ang previous topic for mastery in each level. The spiral curriculum concept was proposed by Brunner in the year 1996. In structuring a course, certain prerequisite knowledge and skills must first be mastered, which in turn provides linkages between each lesson as the student spiral upwards in a course of study. This process became a strong support of a spiral curriculum model in the 1980s. The spiral curriculum design features an end stage of eventual mastery of the structure of a large body of knowledge. With this procedure, two purposes are served. First, the previously learned concept is reviewed, hence improving its retention. Diba kasagaran nga atong mabantayan sa nato sa usa ka klase kay before mag-start sa discussion, mag-review una. So kani nga pa maagi is kanang ma-achieve for better retention siya. Second, the topic may be progressively elaborated when it is reintroduced, leading to a broadened understanding and transfer of learning. Gituuhan nga if ang usa ka topic daw kay mas ma-elaborate og tarong if balikon og takol kay it will deepen the understanding og nindot ang transition sa previous learning to the new knowledge. The science curriculum in the K-12 curriculum presents concepts and skills in life sciences, physics, chemistry, and earth sciences. The concepts are presented with increasing levels of complexity from one grade to another, following the spiral progression approach. Furthermore, the concepts from the four sciences are presented in an integrated manner, thus ensuring a holistic learning of the environment and well-rounded application of skills to real life. Ang mga concept daw nga represent sa nagkataas nga level sa pagkakomplikado gikan sa usa ka grade ngadto sa lain nga nagsunod sa spiral progression approach, wherein if ang usa ka concept kay gitakol na sa grade 1, nika grade 2 kay lain na sad niya concept, pero before mo tackle ang teacher sa next nga topic is iyang i-review daan ang previous nga concept. Also, it emphasizes the need to learn and use real-life context to enhance learning. So, better man jud siya nga ang pagtudlo nimo sa bata kay kanang mag-integrate sa kaog mga real-life context para mas ma-relate sa bata ang kanang topic sa iyahang nakatunan. So, this table present the content or topics of science from grade 3 to 6. So, as you can see, There are different topics in each grade level, but when we observe from it, you can see that each topic are somehow related from each other, but with different level of complexity in every grade. Next, the table 2. For table 2, it presents an example of an integration of concepts from the four disciplines in grade 3. As you can see in the second column, it shows the different concepts from the four disciplines from different quarters. As we move on to the third column, it shows the different topics from the different concepts in each disciplines. So, sa inyong makita diha na siya living things and their environment for the first quarter in biology. Second quarter is matter na not master. For chemistry. Third quarter, changes in solids, liquids, gases, forces and motions for physics. Fourth quarter, earth and space for earth sciences. So, kaning last na column, mao na siya ang mga concepts, which is the characteristics of living things, characteristics of solids, liquids, and gases, indicators of motions, sources and uses of light, heat, and sound, types of weather, effects of weather changes in the community, safety measures. Now let us know the learning spiral. The learning spiral is a curriculum design framework which will help sciences teachers construct lessons, activities, or projects that target the development of thinking skills and dispositions which do not stop at identification, instead facilitate implementation of the desired performance. So, the idea of learning spiral is that each time a student encounters the topic, the student expands their knowledge or improves their skill level. New learning has a relationship with old learning, but with different level of complexity. Mao na siya ang strategy sa learning spiral. This also helps science teachers construct lessons, activities, or projects that are target the development of thinking skills and dispositions which do not stop at identification. This involves progression and continuity in learning science. For continuation, the learning spiral is a curriculum design tool which will help develop concrete and practical thinking-centered lessons that make students' performances of understanding explicit. It may be used to structure an entire project which can readily fit into the regular curriculum and can help design thinking-centered lessons. So, science teachers are faced with the ultimate challenge of producing responsible learners who A. Learn how to learn. So, it is the ability to pursue and persist in learning, to organize one's own learning, including through effective management of time and information, both individually and in groups. Mao ni ang type of students nga naay willingness to learn the strategies in learning. Like they are eager and persistent to learn how to learn. Next is access updated information. These are the students who are capable of accessing current information of any concept. C. Apply what is learned. It is one of the most important skills a teacher can teach to students. Whatever the concept is, students like this can apply the knowledge and skills that has learned in school to a unique new situation. Yeah. For example, nakaton ang isa ka estudyante about the how to kanang maintain plants. So ang kanang ilang nakatunan is ilan ang i-apply sa kanang ilahang kanang pananglitan if ganahan sila mananom. So ilan ang katong ilahang nakatunan like dapat nga ang plant is everyday kanang buan niya, dapat nga ang plant is kanang na ay direct sunlight. So iyan ang i-apply since kanang ganahan naman siya mananom, iyan ang i-apply. So ang iyahang pamaagi anay is kanang iyan ang buhaton nga kanang iyang buan ang iyang tanom, iyang ibuwad sa init ang iyang tanom para mabuhi. So this is the concept of kanang apply what is learned. And D, address complex real-world problems in order to be successful. So as a student, there is always a benefit to solving problems. Remember that if you solve a problem, even a difficult one, it is one less thing to worry about. Thus, the teacher's academic goal is to make students independent lifelong learners. So mao na goal sa teachers nga dapat iyang students kay mga lifelong o independent learners. This learner-centered approach is now becoming a key in our present globalized education, which is characterized by 1. Learn with focus on the learners. So kani kay ang explanation niya is build learning experiences that allow students to choose how and what they are learning. But before that, a teacher must know what kind of students he or she is teaching, like know first their interests, capabilities, mind, sa ilahang thinking skills gani, and how they want to learn. Second, learning in a real situation as the teachers facilitate their students to learn from experience, activities, and work, leading to the development of learners in all aspects physical, mental, or emotional, social, and intellectual. In adopting this spiral approach, the teachers will be enriched with varied experiences in preparing every science lessons and curriculum. A proper blending of concepts, skills, and values sequence from a start upward according to the level of difficulty, preparing spirally structured lessons and activities, thus contributing to the enhancement of the science curriculum and course of study for lifelong learning and total development. Teachers will learn to interact with their students in real situations at the same time encouraging them to develop their potentials for the highest level possible. The spiral approach is recommended in developing and presenting science lessons and curriculum to attain a full understanding, development of thinking skills, and assurance of a lifelong search for knowledge. In science education, such a learner-centered approach will all time focus on the learner in a real environment, thus learning from experience, activities, and work. The spiral approach was compared to the traditional approach, sometimes called mastery approach. Diri nga approach kay ang students learn through repetition. Ang topic kay gitudlo og kausa then proceed to the next. Ang sunod nga lesson kay i-review ang previous concept nga gitudlo as the new is introduced. Generally, a wider variety of concepts are covered. Di pareha sa kanaganing sa katong mastery approach nga ang students kay igo nga mo master sa concept una maka-proceed og lain na concept, while sa spiral approach dili kailangan nga i-master sa students ang concept, rather they proceed to the next concept and review the previous concept for deeper understanding. Brunner, in the year 77, emphasized the gains that can be acquired by developing students' powers of analysis, judgment, and memory in order to increase capacity to transfer learning into new situations. Thus, the spiral curriculum approach is to be encouraged. It must be able to help students in learning how to learn, developing their metacognitive skills, and becoming increasingly sophisticated across grades as topics and skills are developed. The idea of transfer of learning is practically important. Brunner's idea was that transfer of thinking processes from one context to another required students to learn the fundamental principles of subjects and to explore ideas on a deeper level rather than just mastering facts and rote learning procedures. He believed the curriculum should revisit the basic ideas, repeatedly building upon them until the student understands them fully, the spiral curriculum. It is essential that assessment accompanies this process and enables the developmental continuum of increasing sophistication in understanding and application to be demonstrated. So, importante sad nga ang mga teachers kay makibaw aning approach for teaching and learning. Pag-usab sa curriculum without altering an approach to assessment para masiguro nga ang change sa pang hunahuna o pagbalhin sa learned knowledge to new knowledge are emphasized may not lead to change. Without changes in assessment and teaching, changes in curriculum can be regressive, not progressive. So, mao nay idea ni Brunner sa transfer of thinking processes. What do I need to learn, or what the students need to learn in this topic? So first, in the progression approach, the first basic facts of a subject are learned without worrying about the details. Dili kailangan niya i-master sa student ang concepts or its details. As learning progresses, more and more details are introduced, while at the same time they are related to the basics, which are re-emphasized many times for mastery. Ang pamaagi sa pagmaster sa concept aning spiral progression approach kuno kay continuous ra, like ang basic concept are repeated while more concepts are introduced with different level of complexity in each grade level. This means that teachers covers the same topics several years in a row, teaching them progressively every time. Thus, in science, a child learns about the living things, particularly human, animals, and plants from grade 3 up to grade 10, with the lesson becoming more complex across the grades. In spiral teaching, teachers moves upward but keeps returning to the fundamentals or the basic concepts. Take note that the difference between mastery approach and spiral progression approach is mastery approach kay more on focusing a concept for mastery, like balik-balikon una siya to ensure nga na-master sa estudyante ang concept before mag-proceed sa lain nga concept, while spiral progression approach kay nag-focus siya sa introduce og daghang concept throughout the curriculum, pero ang pagmaagi sa pag-master diri nga approach kay pag-review sa previous learned concept and relate it to the next concept to achieve better transfer of learning while using the learned knowledge and skills in the new situation or real-world situation. That ends my discussion. I hope you learned something as you listen to my presentation. This is Anne Erica Trinidad from BEd 3 Day. Thank you.